Hey friends, it's Alex from Vulture Culture, and this is Nylon Sky, the new Sonic extension for Omnisphere by Spectrasonics. This is not a sponsored video, so I took my hard-earned money and bought this today. It just came out. That way you don't have to, and I'm going to give you my unfiltered, unbiased opinion on whether or not I think it's worth it for you to spend your cash on this product. Sonic extensions are sort of like an instrument within an instrument, and they're also a sound library, and there are a whole lot more like new effects that you can use in Omnisphere that are unique to this Sonic extension. So rather than cover everything, I'm just going to play this, and that way you can hear it and then show you the effects and then give you my thoughts on whether or not I think this is a good investment of your money. So let's get started. Here is the default sound. Pretty crazy the amount of articulation in there. So it's really authentic sounding. It is so much deeper than the sounds that were in Omnisphere before. Here is a comparison. It's just the original nylon guitar sound in Omnisphere. Not bad. It's in the Hans Zimmer Guitars library, but the new stuff is much more just incredibly sampled. So just like all of the Sonic extensions, Nylon Sky is divided into patches, and each patch has its own unique controls, and it also has different scenes, which you can think of as snapshots of the controls. The realism knob here allows us to dial out all of those weird little things that happen when you play a real instrument and get a more like more dead sounding thing, which might be what you want to use while you're scoring, and then you add the realism in later. Because it can throw you off a little bit if you're not expecting some of the sounds. And like I had a little dead note right there on one of my key strikes. So it's actually pretty cool. I think the realism all the way up sounds amazing, but there's that. We've got control over the different microphones. So real quick, let's just hear how each one of these sound. And we have an analog delay pedal that was based off of one of Bob Daspit's designs. So we'll start with this sound here. So that's just the dry sound. Now with the analog delay. This incredibly cool, vibey, sort of warbly type sound. Just keeps going. So we can turn the feedback down a little bit just for the sake of my time. We can add a different pitch interval here. So if we set it to fifths, so instant dream pop type sounds. We have a gorgeous new reverb. So one more time, this is the dry sound. And this is it with the reverb. But of course, we finally have a Strymon Big Sky or Valhalla shimmer effect in Omnisphere. So we're going to add some clouds and time to this, and we can get instant, beautiful hugeness. Just awesome. That's just one sort of exploration of the first scene of the first patch. These things are huge. So you can see we don't have as many patches in this one as some of the other ones, but let's go over some of the coolest ones, okay? So this is a flamenco type sound. And just like with the other extensions, we can use the left and right key to browse the scenes. So here's a different variation there. Kind of like a more old school type sound. Really convincing. That sounded like it was just recorded in this room. A little bit of ambiance there. Let's check out an Eno Sky based off of Brian Eno. Let's go there. That is out of control. And it just keeps going. Let's try this variation. Wow. Absolutely gorgeous. Just like some of the other Sonic extensions, there's actually custom controls for each patch, although it does seem like a lot more of these patches share similar controls, which is kind of nice. That way you kind of know where you're at. But this one's different, of course. You can control the different things, like what pitch we're at here. Ooh, that's like Silent Hill vibes. Really, really cool sounds. Let's check out this patch, Reverse Rain. Yeah, it's just intoxicating. Just way too much fun. All right, so another thing to talk about is, just like with everything on the Sonic extensions, they're really custom controls over the top of what already exists inside of Omnisphere. This is your default sawtooth sound. And really, when you're buying a Sonic extension, you're buying the sound library, but you're also buying the custom effects that are used in that Sonic extension that you can use on all of your favorite patches in Omnisphere. You can use it on your hardware profiles for your hardware synths. So let's check those out real quick. So we have two new ones. We've got Sky Channel and Sky Verb. So let's check out Channel first. This is a channel strip. Here's the dry sawtooth sound. Here's with it on. Already a lot more bright, but really what we want to do is see how this breaks up. Still pretty clean. We've got an enhancer, and we've got a tape machine here. So we can really push it, get different types of sounds. So like, let's check out warm tape. So once again, here's your default sawtooth. And here's with it on with the warm tape setting. So it's pretty subtle, but on more organic sound sources, it could be pretty useful. But if we're being honest, I don't see myself loading this in to a lot of my synth patches in Omnisphere. What I will be using though on virtually everything is this new Skyverb. So one more time, here's the sawtooth dry, and here's with Skyverb loaded in. And so we finally have a Strymon Big Sky or Valhalla Schirmer built into Omnisphere. And so that's this clouds option right here. So if we crank this up a little bit, and we have different colors here, let's go ahead and crank up the tone a little bit and try to get a little of the dry signal back in. Check out the different colors here. That one's really nice. Let's try clean. This verb is verbin. I love it. It's really cool. We could go dark, and I wonder if we have controls here. Oh, interesting, we don't. I was curious if we'd be able to octave this down, but it doesn't look like there's any option to. And we have control over the reverb modulation here. So why don't we turn the shimmer effect, which by the way, if you don't know what that is, that's pitch shifting the grains that are going through the feedback of the reverb. So just listening to the reverb on its own, that's the clean reverb, and we can add some modulation. Get that really chorusy sound, a little seasick, so in between. So basically it'll turn any sound into an ambient soundscape. So yeah, it's pretty awesome, and I've always struggled a bit with Omnisphere's reverb because it can kind of sound fake and digitally to me, overhyped, over bright, and sort of, it doesn't have the complexity of a lot of the Valhalla plugins, but I can confirm that Skyverb really does have that incredible sound, and it's actually very simple. I'm surprised there's no extra page, and a huge sort of like disappointment, I guess I could say, is that there's no control for having it go down. I don't think, unless this goes down. Yeah, so there's no control for it to send the pitch shifting down an octave as opposed to up. So it's always going up, which is of course how most people use this type of sound. But I'm still surprised. It seems like an easy admission there that it's not in there, but not the end of the world for sure. Okay, so let's talk about whether or not this product is right for you. So first off, you have to have Omnisphere already to use this instrument. So assuming you have Omnisphere, is the purchase worth it? And I think the answer is, I probably don't even have to tell you, because if you heard the sounds of that nylon acoustic guitar, you're going to know whether or not you want this in your life. I'm willing to bet this is the best nylon acoustic guitar library that will ever be made, right? Spectrasonics and their team always knock it out of the park. I mean, Keyscape is just routinely shown to be at the top. It like beats out all of the hardware pianos. You can look at that like comparison online where they did like blind tests, and it's like Keyscape is ahead on especially the Rhodes, but even just the piano sounds, it like sounds the most real compared to all of the expensive hardware pianos that you can get and piano libraries. It's just killer, and this nylon guitar is out of control. If you would use a nylon guitar in any of your scoring, your production, your pop music, you're into dream pop, whatever, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? You already know you want it. If you're not, though, there's no reason that you should be watching this video, right? Like, it's everything it says it is on the label, like on the package. When you say, okay, Nylon Sky, what are you getting? You're getting a Strymon Big Sky, like awesome dreamy delays and the best recorded nylon acoustic guitar ever. And if that's the type of thing you would use, then hell yeah, you should get it. On the flip side, if it's not, it's just not, right? Like, there's nothing. This is by far the sparsest of the Sonic extensions in the sense that it basically is only that. And I will say this, I'm a little disappointed in Spectrasonics for putting the Sky verb in this Sonic extension, because although I see why it's there, if Omnisphere is supposed to be the end-all be-all synth, it's 2021. There should be a shimmer effect in Omnisphere. You shouldn't have to buy an acoustic guitar library to get that effect. That should be in Omnisphere already. And, you know, it's still awesome that I've got this effect now. I'm really excited to use it in all my tracks, so I'm not trying to sound too bitter here, but it is a shame that this, though, is locked behind the paywall of buying an acoustic guitar library, because there already were distortions and reverbs and other effects like what we have in the other Sonic extensions. There was already substitutes for that in Omnisphere. There was no way to get this classic shimmer type effect in Omnisphere up to this point, and the fact that you have to pay an extra $150 or $100 if you're buying all four of these to get this effect, it's just, it doesn't feel 100% awesome. I'd rather just see this effect be in all of Omnisphere, but I get why it's here, and it does make the most sense to be here because it does add that dreamy, gorgeous, reverby texture. Yeah, so I guess I would say that if you're buying this because you want the sound design potential from the effects, it's a no for me. I would just get Valhalla Shimmer. If you're buying it because you want a nylon acoustic guitar sample library, there's never going to be a better one. I will put my reputation and my money on the line. This is as good as it's ever going to be. And it's the same thing with Keyscape. Like, are you ever going to find a better collection of vintage keyboards? No, that's going to be what you want to use. And the fact that all of this can be used inside of Omnisphere is, of course, awesome. And so this, to me, feels the most like Keyscape in the sense that it feels like it's a brand new instrument, right? This could be its own release. And it is really interesting that Spectrasonics went with this approach, with instead of releasing Nylon Sky as a standalone instrument like they did with Keyscape, releasing it as a Sonic extension. This one feels like it would make the most sense as a standalone product. The other extensions, I absolutely understand why they're inside of Omnisphere, but this one could have been that, and I'm a little bit sad that some people who probably would like to get this library but don't want to buy Omnisphere aren't going to have access to it, because the grand total would be something like $650, and that's too much if you don't plan on using the rest of Omnisphere. On the other hand, most of the people who I would imagine would use this are either pop producers or they do some sort of scoring, whether for movies or video games or trailers or something, in which case you should probably already have Omnisphere, and you'll probably find everything else in Omnisphere really useful. So it makes sense to get that, and then this is kind of like the icing on the cake. So anyways, those are my thoughts on Nylon Sky. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.